this report that we did was done in collaboration with the Center for Public Integrity and the Weather Channel. And we decided to focus on air quality and air pollution issues from natural gas development instead of water, because the issues with water have been looked at before. And what we found in the Eagle Ford is that the Eagle Ford is a huge 20,000 square mile area in South Texas. And there is right now one of the biggest oil and gas booms in the nation, but it hasn't gotten the national attention that places like the Marcellus Shale in Pennsylvania have. And what you have there in South Texas is this boom, and looking through air permits and looking at the regulatory regime, we found that there are all of these facilities, that the wells and compressor stations and all the infrastructure that comes with the boom that are emitting industrial-sized air pollutants into the air. And you're talking about things like hydrogen sulfide, which can be deadly, volatile organic compounds like benzene that can cause cancer in the long term. And you have that alongside many, many hundreds of residential complaints about things that are related to the industry. So you have residents complaining to regulators about headaches and foul odors and trouble breathing and all kinds of respiratory problems. And at the same time, you have a regulatory system that knows very little about the air quality in the area because they have only 5 permanent air monitors in the entire Eagle Ford. And none of these monitors are in places with a lot of drilling. Also, you have regulatory agencies that are very business friendly and very closely intertwined with the oil and gas industry. And that's something that David can talk about because he looked into the politics.
Yeah, and David, what about that in the state of Texas and its basically laissez-faire attitude toward this kind of pollution?
We went to Texas on a number of occasions with our colleagues from the Center for Public Integrity and the Weather Channel. And we spent a lot of time in the homes of people, walking the farms and the ranches of people who are affected by the emissions. These are folks who are long-time residents of this area, and it's a very rural, very quiet area of the state of Texas. These are people who had expectations of being able to live quiet lives in retirement and to farm and ranch without the threat of development near them. In the last 5 years, the Eagle Ford has boomed. These folks who once lived in a rural area are now finding themselves with dozens of wells and processing plants surrounding them. They have very few places to turn for help. They have two regulatory agencies in Texas. The primary agency is the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. And this is an agency that has commissioners appointed by the governor of Texas, Rick Perry, who has made it publicly known that he'd like to dismantle the EPA. His attorney general has sued the EPA more than a dozen times. So the folks in Texas feel that they are somewhat disenfranchised in that they have very, very few people who are on their side who can champion their cause. These are truly the little people trying to fight government and trying to fight big business.
I mean, the kind of gassing off, the flaring off of the gas you see. I saw this in Nigeria, in the Niger Delta. At the time, it wasn't even allowed in the United States. And the people, and watching your video, complaining of feeling like an elephant is on their chest as they breathe in the soot from this flame. This is an area the size of Massachusetts, Lisa?
Yes, it's very nearly the size of Massachusetts.
And so what happens now? What happens next? Even if you will not allow fracking on your own property, everyone around you has this is allowing it. And so you're still deeply affected.
Yeah, what we found was a clear story of there are some people who have benefited financially from this boom, and there are many others who have not. So it's clearly a case of the haves and the have-nots. And for the people who are the odors and the flares and the lights and noise, pollution, traffic, and all they end up seeing are the disadvantages of this boom. And so their lives have not gotten better, it's gotten worse.